What's good, fam? This is Mr. Sycamore with another episode of W.I.T.Erviews. When I get someone to tell me what they think instead of you all knowing what I think. Today I have two teenagers with me, teenager 1 and teenager 2. And I want to know their thoughts on role models. I was looking at a show the other day and they were talking about role models, and it was something that I disagreed with, and we'll get into that a little later. But I wanted to know from a teenage perspective, since I'm no longer a teenager, what today's teenagers thought about role models. Now let me give you the definition of role model. A person looked to by others as an example to be imitated. Now that's by definition, but I'm going to ask teenager 1 and teenager 2 their definitions of role models. Teenager 1, what's your definition of a role model?
My definition of a role model would be someone who does the right thing when it's supposed to be done, or someone who sees a wrong and wants to correct it and wants to do well in life.
Good, good. Now, teenager 2, what's your definition of a role model?
My definition of a role model would be someone who practices what they preach, who have integrity, and who have things you could abide by to make your own life a bit better. Yeah, better.
Okay, okay. Now, I like both of y'all definition. Now, let me ask you, does that person have to be an athlete or an entertainer, or could that be an everyday person, someone you know personally? Or what's your thoughts on that? Is a role model just someone who's quote unquote famous, or could it be someone that you know personally?
No, the role model can be defined by anybody. It could be somebody younger than you, it could be somebody older than you, it could be a celebrity, it could be anybody.
Okay. You
agree with her? Yeah.
All right, now let me ask you this. Since you say it could be anybody, do you think that, let me just do a scenario real quick. And the scenario may be misleading, but if it is, then I'll get to that. But just from the question, let me know if you think this person is a role model. Someone who came from a rich family, but they didn't have money, their parents had money. But they decided to, instead of taking their parents' money, they decided to build their own wealth. And once they got that wealth, they started to share it back with the community, no problems. Could that be looked as a person that you look to for as a role model?
Most definitely.
Right, now, what if you had someone who came from a family that wasn't rich? Just say that they were check to check. The parents were check to check. And they took money from their parents to help them become wealthy or wealthier, and they gave back. Is that someone?
Yes.
Alright, now what about someone who had a dirt poor family, had to scratch and beg to eat as they were coming up, didn't have anyone to help them, and by chance they became rich or wealthy and gave back to the community?
Yes.
Even more so.
Yes.
Okay, okay. I'm glad you said that. Even more so for the person who was dirt poor.
Yes.
The reason I say that is, okay, what if the person who was dirt poor, that begged, got hand-me-downs, handouts, became this rich person, and they gave back, just the other two did, but that person looked down on people. He's giving back to the community and everything, but he's looking down on people, and nobody gave me nothing, I did it all on my own. And now, even though he's giving back to the community, his snobbish attitude, his ways, the way he looks down on people, is that still someone that you could look up to?
Not so much.
No.
Okay, okay. Alright, that's what I was saying as well. That's what the story was about. Someone who made it, and they were snobbish, and they looked down on people even though they gave it. And I was saying that they're not a role model, and me and someone had a difference of opinions. So I said that that person who was dirt poor only had a great story to tell. of how they came up and how they made it, but they weren't a role model. So, do you have a role model?
Yes, I do.
Do you have a role model?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Now, as you stated earlier, role models could be younger than you. Have you ever had a role model younger than you?
Not that I know of or can recall.
Okay, being that you all are both teenagers, have anyone ever said to either one of you that you're my role model?
Yes.
You have. Were they younger or older?
They're like the same age group, but they're still younger than me.
Peers, yeah.
Now, do you feel you're role models?
Sometimes.
Now, what makes you, teenager one, what makes you think sometimes that you are a role model? What do you do, or what makes you feel that you are a role model?
When there are some of my peers who who doubt themselves in their work, I help them and encourage them that they should not second guess themselves, even if they may seem wrong during their work. I tell them that they should do their best and they should continue to try their best to get better grades if their grades are not at their satisfaction.
Okay, and do you do it to a fault? What I mean by that is, do you do it without criticizing them if they don't follow you to a T? Do you start to like criticize them and be like, well, I'm trying to help you?
No.
No? Okay. But same thing for you.
What was the question? I'm sorry.
The question, it's okay. The question is for the people who have said to you that you're a role model to me. What do you think you've done, or what are the things you've done to make you feel like you're a role model?
I feel like when they see me like involved in the city with my different group that I'm in, like Sigma Beta, we passed out food for the homeless, and like we do fundraisers at the fair and civic center and stuff like that. I guess when they see me out there actually making a difference, I guess they look up to that and say, I want to be like him.
Okay. Glad you said that. Are you Sigma, what was it?
Sigma Beta.
Sigma Beta. Are you affiliated with any type of, are they called for fraternities and sororities in high school? I don't know.
They're organizations.
Organization. Okay, so are you a part of any organization as well?
Well, I'm a part of academic organizations,
Okay.
SGA and NHS, and I'm also part of the Lesbian Society, which is theater.
All right. Lastly, as far as role models are concerned, or as far as you all being role models, is there anything that you would like to say to any of the listening audience as far as role models are concerned, or as far as you all are concerned about role models? Take that as a no.
No,
But,
no,
we're trying to be.
Oh, okay.
I thought you were
gonna go.
I was waiting on you.
Oh,
You was
go.
going first. Okay, well, role models could be anyone from custodians to people who didn't get their foot, who didn't pursue it, higher learning, people who you wouldn't even expect to be role models, but always have an open mind. Don't ever, always be kind to people, because you never know who's willing to help you or who's willing to spit some knowledge to you. Just
stick their neck out for you.
right.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, now I have my answer. I just want to say do not discriminate. Do not discriminate, period. Because a role model, like I said earlier, could be someone who's way younger than you or way older than you. It could be somebody on the job who's an intern and you've been at this job for years and you're way older than them. They probably have qualities that you probably do not have. So therefore you might see that they aspire to do better in your job, in your career field, to get a higher status. So therefore just don't discriminate, because you never know what you may learn from somebody else.
Well, there you have it. The teenage perspective on role models. Now, you all may have your own thoughts of what a role model is. It may be different from what we said. If you do, place it down in the comments section. I want you to like, share, and comment on this conversation. And if you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, become a subscriber. Until my next video, I'm out.